What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Flag Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. My name is Brent Bodkin. I'm running solo today. There's no Quasi Guatemala with us. We're gonna miss you, dude. He'll be back next week. So again, running solo. A lot of excitement though in this episode. Last week we promised some guests. We had one guest last week. We have an amazing guest coming up in just a few moments. Some FPF royalty coming up. I'm gonna get to her in just 1 minute. A lot of things still going on right now in FPF, looking at all the different divisions, a lot of games going down. It's officially June right now. I mean, it was June on the weekend, kind of felt like October, November, but we are officially June weather right now. The weather's beautiful outside, about 28, 29 degrees. Hopefully everyone's out getting some exercise, just enjoying the great weather. All right, enough about that. So like I said, football royalty is in the house. Joining me today on the podcast is the one and only of Sub-Zero, the one and only Sara Parker, quarterback extraordinaire. Definitely future FPF Hall of Famer, let's be honest. 9-time All-Star, 5-time champ. Sara, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right. So let's hop into it. We saw you. Well, I had a chance to actually finally meet you at the Winter Finals. I've seen you play a billion times. I've seen you in passing. I mean, I'm friends with Pat. I've seen you play a ton of times over the years. Super happy to have you on the show. So I had asked you. So I have a podcast of my own, which 514 show. Little quick shout out there, 514 show. I had asked you to come on that. We'll get to that down the road, but I had a chance to reach out to you this past week to come on this podcast here again, the First and Goal podcast. Like we said, we want to get guests on the show this season, so I couldn't think of anybody else better than you because I think you're awesome, amazing, good people. From what I hear, I don't know you that well. From what I've heard, good people, and obviously a fantastic player. So okay, so let's hop into it. Spring season. I keep calling it the summer season. I don't know about you, but I feel like right now with the weather, it feels like summer, spring / summer season is underway. What are your impressions so far?
Well, in the summer season, the competition is always fiercer in the women's division, just because
Right.
all the girls from the winter and the summer seasons are usually pretty competitive. Just because the girls that are usually unavailable in the fall to play in the fall season that are playing university flag are all coming together. So I really enjoy playing both the winter, the spring, and the summer season very much, just because that's when we get to play against that tough competition, and then we can actually enjoy the weather, play outside. That's definitely a plus. I actually played on Sunday morning with all that rain and that cold at 9 a.m. At Loyola. So I would say that not the best weather to play in, but we still had fun for sure. But yeah, looking forward to playing outside in the nice weather and coming together with all the girls. So yeah.
Okay. So I had a chance. Obviously, I score capture game on Sunday. It was kind of fitting with Sub-Zero against Ice Cold. I mean, I felt like that was pretty apropos,
Yeah, I had to
given the
pull up my
conditions.
hand warmer, and yeah, was wearing my rain jacket on the sidelines, and we did what we could.
There you go. You got the W, so that's all that matters.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you. You've been in the league now since I want to say 2018. Am I right about that? Yeah, 2018
I
was your rookie
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, winter 2019. Was my rookie season. I played in co-ed Division 1, I believe.
Okay. What got you in the FPF? Like, how did you find out about FPF? How did you end up joining?
Uh, so when I started in the FPF league, there wasn't even a women's division yet. So one of my childhood friends started a men's team, and he didn't have a quarterback, and he was looking for people to join his team, and he had asked me if I wanted to play, and he also found a girl rusher. And then he was told, well, you can't have two girls on a men's team. You're going to have to register into co-ed. So he was like, sure, let's do it. And we ended up having more girls join, and that was my first ever Flag Plus football season. So I played with them. I had never played 6-on-6 before, so it was a little bit of adjusting to do, but I, from starting then in winter 2019 to seeing the league now, uh, co-ed 1 then and now is like two different worlds. It's totally different. The talent just got exponentially better. It's actually crazy to see. And then we had the first women's season. I don't know exactly when the first women's division season started, but I was so happy that we hopped on the trend and we allowed girls to play, because obviously there's a lot of interest in women's flag. So just the league opening up that opportunity for girls to play, I think we showed that we're really motivated and we really want to play, because now I think we have three women's divisions with a lot of teams in each division. So um, it's really cool to see. So the girls had to go from playing co-ed, so really motivated to play, ready to play with the guys, and then from having our own little space with our own rules, and just it exploded. Now we get to have a whole bunch of talent. Once again, the talent got so much better throughout the years, throughout the seasons, and we just opened it up to so many other girls that want to play for fun, competitively. We have it for everyone. So, yeah, just seeing the league grow has been pretty special.
Definitely a lot of growth over the last couple of years from the beginnings. I remember, so I've been in FPF as a player for a long time. I remember when there were no ladies playing, and then I remember a couple came in like yourself, right? A couple came in here and there on different teams, and then obviously we expanded all the way up to like women's three now, which is amazing. Let's talk about that actually for a second. So, I remember when I met you again at the finals, I was talking about briefly with you about like kind of the growth of women's, not just women's football, but flag football specifically, right? What do you think are some of the key contributing factors to the growth of and to the interest for ladies like yourself playing flag football?
Um, I think what's responsible for the growth of flag, before they announced obviously that flag is going to be a part of the Olympic Games in 2028, was the girls. The girls were so motivated to play. If I'm kind of speaking for myself, I finished high school and I didn't get recruited to any CJEPs to go and play. I ended up being at Champlain, where there was no flag football, and I ended up gathering a whole bunch of girls that were super motivated to play, and we pushed for a flag team, which we managed to build for the following fall season, and the program has been super successful since. Then COVID hit. There was no university flag football, so once again, a whole bunch of girls got together and communicated with their university sports organizations, directors, and stuff to try and get it started at the university level, and that was a huge success. So I'd say that before we got the recognition of flag being a serious sport with the potential of being an Olympic sport, the key driving factor is all the athletes. We were a super tight knit community. The girls that we play against today in the Flag Plus League, we've worked all together to try and build these leagues and show our interest. And we're builders. We're not just flag football players. Like, if it weren't for the flag community and all those girls that started that university flag league, it probably wouldn't have grown as much, because now they're building programs in high schools and the girls are looking up to all these university flag players, and there's just more and more opportunity to play, more and more opportunity to play competitively also. So it's really nice to see. So yeah, I would say that um, really the flag girls are the key driving factor for its growth on the women's side. And then of course, just the fact that the the sport is going to be an Olympic sport in summer 2028 um, really really is a driving factor for the sport's growth. And then, well, on the men's side, of course, there's all the talk with the NFL, their support, the exposure that it's giving the sport. So of course that's also a factor, I think, that is contributing to its popularity and its growth.
Okay, so you mentioned the Olympics, so let's stay there for a second. Um, Obviously, the men's team was announced last week. A lot of guys from FPF are going to be on that men's team. So congrats to them. The ladies team, the women's team has not been officially released yet. I'm hoping you're on the roster. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a good chance you'll be on the roster. Hopefully, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But just if we could talk about maybe what you're hoping comes out of this, not just for the women's roster, but just having flag football in the Olympics as a sport. How important do you think that's going to be, not just for players like yourself, but just players everywhere playing flag football?
Um, well, I would say that I've never been this motivated to play the sport, this motivated to learn from all the different coaches that I've had the chance to be exposed to. I'm not done learning. I'm trying to gather all the knowledge I can get from different people just to make sure that, knowledge is power. You really want to gather all this information and just add it to your tools and just make yourself better. So right now I would say that I'm like all in. Of course, I would love to be on the team for this summer. And of course, my motivation is the Olympics. So regardless of what the outcome is for this summer, of course, I'm gonna do everything I can. I put I dedicated so much time, so much energy into my preparation for the training camps, for the competitions that are coming up. So I'm really hoping for that opportunity. And if whatever happens, happens, and I'll just focus on the next thing. And then, of course, dream of going to the Olympics one day, do whatever I can to make it there. So, yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned training camps, right? So I mean, to some people, they may just think, hey, listen, you may have a practice here, a practice there. You show up with your team against Sub-Zero. The other days have been dominant for a long time in FPF. But just give kind of, if you could kind of pull the curtain back a little bit, like, what does it take for not just you, but for your team to be so dominant for so long? Like, I know there's some practices and that, and some training camps, but if you can just go into detail, like, what makes you and your team so successful?
Sub-Zero. So my Sub-Zero team is made up of girls from so many different backgrounds. Um, we have girls that came out of retirement to come and play. Others that uh, actually two of them that came out of three of them that came out of retirement to come and play with us. Just because we were missing some pieces lining up for the national championships, we ended up having a quick roster change and having to add a couple players to the team. So I think we just started off as underdogs. We started off as underdogs, and I feel like there's a lot of uh, strength and character when it comes to being underdogs. And I think that's our strength. Our strength is really that we are used to having to fight for the W, to fight for just being the top contender. So I think that's why we started where we started, kind of being the underdog, and then being able to build our character, build our chemistry, make a strong team, and since then we just have been inseparable. We love playing with each other, regardless of where we're from and what age we are. We're just so tight knit, and we're a family. We would do anything for the girl next to us. So I think that's really where our strength is. And then obviously we had a lot of preparation with our coaches for the World Cup last summer. So obviously we put in a lot of time into our preparation, our practices. So we had like 1 year of intense. We saw each other like 3-4 times a week to practice and play in the FPF league. We registered in co-ed divisions and women's divisions just to be able to be almost perfect, so we could travel to Finland and then really represent our country proudly, which I think we did. So yeah, I think that's what makes us a competitive team.
Okay, okay. Okay, so speaking of travel, right? So you mentioned obviously with the World Cup, you've been to Finland. Hopefully, you have a chance to go to LA. Fingers crossed. Well, where's maybe some place that you haven't played yet that you would love to play?
Um, I, besides traveling for flag, I don't travel much. So um, I really save up my money just to be able to go and play places where it costs a lot of money to play on the national team. So obviously, my goal is that. So I put money aside just to be able to travel with the team. But I mean, anywhere, to be honest, anywhere. My teammates know this, but when I get on a plane and fly off to wherever tournament I have, I always get really emotional just because I'm so grateful for any kind of opportunities that I get. So anywhere, anywhere I get to play with my friends, my teammates, I'm grateful to be, really. Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously, I would love to go and play in LA in 2028, but no dream destination really. Just the tournament in question.
Okay. As soon as California comes, I'm going to tell you if you have a chance to go, if you have the opportunity, the beach, just the vibe, the atmosphere, the weather, obviously. But this California is awesome. So if you have a chance to, if you're on the team, you have a chance to go, or wherever you just want to go, some personal downtime, whatever, go to Cali. It's awesome. Okay. So let's hop away from the Olympics and all that for a second. Let's hop into, you talked about a bit about your team, right? So I'm going to throw out some names to you. Uh, Kind of current, maybe former teammates. Laurence Pombriand, Jessica Bossy Tampin, what I had a chance to see obviously on the weekend. Emily Carrier, Catherine Gaumont, Sabina Gervais, obviously one of the faces of the women's division in FPF, along with herself. Caroline Moquin Joubert, Tamara Journeau. So you have a wide collection, right? Obviously, like you said, you have a lot of veterans as well. You added some new pieces though to Sub Zero this year. So a friend of the show, Rochelle, uh, can never pronounce her last name. Hold on, let me see if I get this right. Valier, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. Next time I see her, I'm gonna ask her. Mathilde Sibyl and Laura Molimard.
Mhm.
So they played a couple of games. What's your impression of the rookies so far on your squad?
Yeah, so Laura's not actually really a rookie. She competed with us in Tampa at the USA Flag World Championships in January. So at that tournament, from my original offense, I only had my center. So I was missing a lot of receivers. Obviously, I have players on my defense that can play both ways because they're super athletic and they know the game really well. So I'm very comfortable having them play both ways. But obviously, in tournaments like that where we play 7 to 8 games a day, if we make it all the way, because obviously the goal is to make it all the way, we need bodies. So we, I had a university tournament at Sepsum, and my teammates from Sub Zero came to watch. And they saw Laura play. They were like, "This girl has a lot of potential. I think she would be a great addition to the team." And we asked her if she was interested to come to Tampa, and right away she was super excited to join. So she ended up coming with us to Tampa. And we were still kind of short bodies because our first game we lost one of our players. So we fell down to, we were seven playing the entire tournament. So she had to play both ways, but she never played defense before. So Laura played, she's usually a snapper at UQAM. She usually played center, but we obviously already had our center, so we put her on the line, and she ended up doing great. We built a lot of chemistry. She was one of my main targets throughout the tournament, uh, and she filled her role super well, and we ended up winning 2 out of the 3 categories that we registered in. So obviously we wanted to keep her just because she did so well. So we kept her, and we were missing a 6th player on our roster, and we Pat ended up proposing Mathilde for offense, and obviously she's a stud. So we were ready to welcome her. We haven't practiced yet or anything like that, but she's played slot for the first 2 games, and she's been a great target. So I'm excited to see how much more we can develop our offense with our new pieces. But yeah, a lot of size, a lot of speed was added to the roster. So as a quarterback, I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, on defense, Rachel, I know that Pat likes her a lot just because she's very smart. She knows the game very well. And to play on Pat's defense, you need IQ. You need to be able to read what's going on in front of you, react accordingly. So he thought that she was a pretty good puzzle piece to add to our defense because she's very willing to learn, willing to ask questions, and she's very adaptable. She's good at applying what the coach wants her to do.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, listen. It sounds like the three solid additions to your team, like you're saying, on both sides of the ball. It's making you ladies like even stronger. Which I know some teams are not going to want to hear that, but it is what it is. Okay. So let's get into some personal stuff. So I know before we went to air, you were telling me right now you're studying right now at ConU at Concordia. You're doing your master's degree. What are you doing your master's in?
Um, my degree is in exercise science. So I graduated my bachelor's in athletic therapy. So I'm a certified athletic therapist. And I continued. I decided to do my master's. I would like to teach in university later, so that's why I kept studying. And yeah, I have a year left.
Yeah, okay. Thinking about maybe a PhD after that, or
Um, if I'm not fed up with school, I'm I'm considering it because I think to be a teacher at university, it might help to have a PhD. So, but I love Concordia. I not fed up of it yet whatsoever. I love the people that are there, the teachers, the students. I also work as a TA, as a teaching assistant. I teach in labs, like manual techniques and stuff like that. And I'm really enjoying it. So if if that's the path that I want to go on, I'm gonna be super happy to do it. So
okay. And what pushed you? What drew you to that job or to that field?
at first, it was really just I feel like the program is a lot of collaboration, working as a team. We have a lot of labs. We see the same students all the time, so we work together to try and get better. So we practice together different techniques, making sure that we're doing them right, studying for exams. And I felt like I was good at sharing my knowledge and helping others. So I decided that um, it would be a good idea to apply to be a TA. And my first semester, I loved it. And it's also practical because it's at school. So I'm working there, I'm studying there, and I'm playing there, training there. Everything's happening at the same place. Um, so yeah, just doesn't even feel like I'm working. So I love it.
Okay, nice. Yeah, listen. If you have a job and it doesn't feel like, or even school doesn't feel like you're working, even though you're working hard, if it doesn't feel like it, it's always good. Okay. Uh, so let's get away from the school. Let's get away from football for a second. What do you do in your spare time? Or I imagine you might not have too much of that, but an off day. What does it look like for you?
Uh, I'm extremely family oriented. So whenever I need to decompress or I have an off day, the first thing I want to do is spend time with my family. So that's really it. Just quality time with the people I love. Just because it gets limited with all the busy schedule that I have. Um, I have a pretty big family. Every Sunday, well, every 2 Sundays, we meet up and we have supper. All 26 of us, and there's no way that I'm missing a dinner. Like it's just the way that it is. Like if I don't have my Sunday dinner, I feel it. I have to see my family members. I have to see my cousins, my grandparents. So yeah, that's what I do on my spare time. Just quality time with my people.
What's your favorite dish? Like, what do you love to eat when you have those family dinners?
Um, Obviously, feeding that many people gets kind of complicated, so it's a rotation between spaghetti and fajitas most of the time. That's really what it is. It's yeah, you can't be surprised. Most of the time it's spaghetti, always. And then once in a while they just surprise we're having fajitas today, but yeah, that's it. If not if not, I love salmon. If I get to pick a dinner that I would have every single day, I would have salmon on the barbecue. That's my favorite dish.
Put a little lemon on a salmon, or have it just like that.
Yeah, definitely lemon and some seasoning. But yeah.
Okay, okay. So when you have the spaghetti, or when you have the fajita, spicy or no spicy? Put a little chili flakes, a little paprika. No.
Uh, I'm weak when it comes to that stuff. I do like the occasional red hot in my fajita, but uh, other than that, no. But the spice from a red hot sauce isn't the same as a real spice, to be honest. Right? I feel.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, red hot, it's sauce. I'll give it that. To
Yeah,
say really hot sauce, I don't know.
it's not really hot sauce, but I enjoy it. But I wouldn't. No. Besides that, I'm not a spicy girly.
So there's a flaw. Finally, I've seen a flaw. I've seen a flaw. All right, cool. This one, all right, it's cool. All right. So let me ask you. So we're talking about some of your teammates before. So I've noticed from your games, I've scored kept like a ton of your games. I've called some of your games. You like to have a smile on your face. Like you're always trying to have fun in that. Some of your teammates, yes, maybe some of your teammates, no. Um, who who on your team, or specifically in the huddle, who's like the one that's always trying to make somebody laugh? Who's always the one that's loose and always willing to bust a joke?
Emily Carrier, 100%.
Okay, okay.
Emily Carrier, 100%. She's always the one that's ready to lighten the mood.
Okay. And who's the total opposite? Who's like serious, no jokes, no smile, just that focus all the way through?
Uh, I don't think none of them are. I don't think none of them are. We just have so much fun together. I don't think everyone hops on the train. No one. No, I wouldn't. I would. No one. I think.
Okay, okay. Who's the biggest trash talker on your team?
Who's the biggest trash talker? We don't trash talk other teams. We trash talk amongst ourselves. Uh, I would say maybe Caro, but it's like very sarcastic and like teasing. You know.
Okay, okay, okay. Who who on your team? Which receiver? I think every quarterback has one of these receivers. Which receiver on your team always seems to open no matter what?
None of them. None of them. They all have the same mentality of like, I'm gonna run 1,000 fades at 100%, and if Sarah doesn't throw me a single one, even if I'm open and she throws a complete ball in like a short little slant, they don't even question it. They come back and they run the next one at 100% anyways. I'm very lucky with my receiver core. But if I could close my eyes and throw a ball in the air, I can guarantee you Cal is gonna go and get it.
Okay, nice. Can't ask for anything more than that. Okay, okay. One thing I noticed, so after a couple of your games, specifically on Sunday morning, you ladies all got into a circle after. You were kind of singing a song, you were chanting, jumping up and down. What was the song? What was that all about?
Um, so it started off kind of in we went to a tournament in Nashville. It was our last tournament that we went to the States for to kind of prep for Finland. And there was a huge storm and there was a rain delay and we were fed up of waiting on the field and everyone was cold. But we didn't have time to warm up, so we ended up just getting in a circle and we started to sing random songs. Um, to be honest, French songs I don't really know. uh, some of them were from Mixmania, something like that, and then Star Academy, some of those shows that I haven't watched. So yeah, I was just going along and listening to them go because I don't know the words to any of them. And then we have our classic one that's temps en temps un petit but, temps en temps un petit but, c'est bon. That's a song that we were singing when we watched the Team Canada men scrimmage against Team Finland. And it ended up being like one of our activities that we had right after training camp before we started playing. And then, yeah, it just stuck. So since then, whenever we're kind of like in a circle huddled up or trying to get warm, or someone just starts a song and then we all join in.
Okay, okay. So I got about 2 to 3 more questions for you, because I know you have to get out of here to get to practice, so I'll make it quick. Um, a lot of different teams you've been playing over the last couple of years, but specifically, obviously, Matrix and Cayenne. Out of all the teams you face, whether it's women's one, women's two, or have you, who's the toughest team that you face, or maybe who's the toughest defense you have to go up against?
Hmm. Who's the toughest defense? Well, I
A
can
little
say the
bulletin board
obvious.
material.
Yeah, I can say the
Yeah.
obvious question. The obvious answer would be obviously we always end up playing against Cayenne in the finals. Um, so I would say them. I would say them. They
Okay.
yeah they have a very similar playing style. Um, they both teams have very good athletes. Both of them I would say are pretty good. Yeah.
And is there like one quarterback who you just like is like you think is maybe your biggest rival, or someone that you love going up against, like someone who maybe brings out the best out of you?
Yeah. There's always this rivalry with Sandrine. We're always compared. We're always in competition. We're always fighting for a spot. It always ends up being us two. So yeah, I would say definitely Sandrine. She's very smart. She knows the game. So she pushes me to get better just because we're always in competition. So we're always pushing each other. So there you go.
Sanjing Gobe Huot.
Yeah.
2 more questions. So right now, so we talked a little bit about obviously the popularity of flag football, especially with women. Where do you think What do you think the status of flag football is for women right now, and where do you think it can go? You think it maybe just like a ceiling, or
I don't think there's a ceiling. I think we've seen the sport progress exponentially in such little time. I think it's only going to get better. And us players that are playing right now, soon enough, we're going to become, in years down the road, we're going to become outdated. Our playing style isn't going to be the best playing style anymore. They're going to find new tactics, new ways to grow the game, make it more interesting, make it better. So uh, I don't think there is a ceiling. There's just potential. It's just going to grow more. We're just going to learn more, and it's just going to get better and better.
okay, okay. And last question, I promise. If you can go back in the past to when you first got interested in football, when you first started playing flag football, if your younger self could look forward into the future and be like, this is Sara Parker, over 700 touchdowns, 9-time All Star, an FPF 5-time champion, traveling the globe, potentially playing on the Olympic team. What do you think your younger self would have said if they could figure out you'd be doing all this in the future?
Um, just enjoy the game. Just play to have fun and be willing to learn. Be willing to uh, apply feedback and ask questions and just learn and learn and learn and learn. Play as much as you can, but it's so important though to have fun. Like you're never gonna play well if you're not enjoying what you're doing. So just the main focus is every practice, every game uh, is just a lesson. So just take it as one game at a time, one play at a time. Learn, grow, learn from the last play, learn from the last game, and just have fun. Enjoy the girls you're with, respect them, uh, play for each other. The unity is super important too. So yeah, that's what I would say. I never could have imagined that I would be where I am today just because after high school, I didn't even think I was going to play flag ever again. It was my third sport. Uh, I just got an opportunity after high school, found out I had potential to keep going, and I enjoyed the game. So I just wanted to keep playing. And then the opportunities came. I took them, made the most out of them. And yeah.
All right, sounds good. So, listen, let me say first off, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it here on the First and Goal podcast. All the best for you and personally, and for your team the rest of the way. We're cheering for you. Again, Team Canada hasn't been released yet. The roster has not been announced. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully, you'll be on the roster. I think you're well deserving of a spot. And just keep on doing you. You've been amazing. And thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for the invite. And also thank you for giving more visibility to girls in flag.
No problem. Come on anytime you want. You're always a welcome guest on the show, 100%.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sarah. You good? All right, so that was the one and only Sara Parker. Again, fantastic player, even better person. Like I said, it's kind of my chance to meet her, have actually a conversation with her for more than 2 minutes. So that was awesome. Thank you again for Sarah for coming on. Hopefully, everyone watching enjoyed that interview. We have another guest coming up. Yeah, we have another special guest coming up. Another player, obviously from FPF, the main man Keyon Cyrus. So truth be told, Keyon, I've known Keyon for a little while now. He's I think in his second year. He started playing 2023 in FPF. I had a chance to meet him on the sideline doing some scorekeeping, and he seemed like a good dude. Got to talking here and there. You know, he was on the team, wasn't that great. We'll get into that in a few minutes. Just started talking to him, seeing at a couple more games, couple more games here, a couple more games there, and he was just getting better and better. And his team, a little bit of a struggle at first, but they got better and better as well. He's now an employee of the league as well, and he's also on my team in Division C. Great dude, Keyon Cyrus, coming on the show. Should be on in just a few seconds. And three, two, one.
Hello?
There we go. Keyon, you can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, all right. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for waiting. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So I was just giving a little introduction about you, saying you've been in the league since 2023, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spring
spring 2023. It's been been 2 seasons now. So you play for my team, the Commission. You play for FBIFC, and no more freshman XL, now sophomore XL.
Yeah.
That's an awesome name, by the way.
Thank you.
McGill swim team. Is that coming back in the winter?
Most probably, yeah. I think because also the guys go back home in the summer because of rugby. So because they're mostly international students. So we usually bring it up in the winter because fall is in season for them. So yeah, it looks like it's coming back.
Okay. Anyway, so with all that saying, welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for joining me on the FPF First and Goal podcast.
Anytime. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, so let's get into it, man. Like I said, you've been in the league now officially 2 years. You played on a number of teams. You've even subbed on a couple of higher division teams as well. It's going to give us some stats here and stroke your ego a little bit. So 2 seasons played, 45 touchdowns, 43 INTs, and 55 pass deflections. So that tells me you play a lot of receiver, you play a lot of DB. I've seen you rush. Actually, you rushed for my team on Thursday for a little bit here and there. What's your favorite position? Like, what position do you love playing the most?
I would say playing on defense, mainly DB or playing as a safety. And initially, it wasn't really my thought. I thought I always was like going to be a receiver, but then as I started playing, realizing that one, my hands weren't as good coming back, So I was like, okay, let me figure out where to be useful for. And then honestly, just got much better with playing more defense. And then I took more stride in that. And also playing with better players around me, especially on offense, just made me realize like I don't have to be the number one. And I love being complimentary to like really great receivers around me and stuff. And I can have a good game here and there, or however my QB wants to use me. But I would say defense because it's like I don't know. I find it much more satisfying when you get an interception or like a big pass deflection than like a touchdown. Touchdowns are great. I love them, but like I feel like on defense, it's like uh, be on the other side of it. Sometimes it's like I feel it more.
Okay, nice, nice. Okay, all right. So a little bit of safety, a little bit of corner here and there. You're kind of a ball hawk. I think that's pretty safe
Yeah.
to say, right? Again, with 43 INTs, I think ball hawk in the dictionary should have your picture right underneath it. How'd you find out about FPF?
So about FPF, so I played flag in high school 1 year. I went to high school with Dante and Santino Sparagna, along with a few other guys, and so we played. I played flag with them for 1 year in high school. We went undefeated, won a championship, but they've been playing flag for a bit. And then once college happened, I kind of just went away from flag. Didn't know much about it, but then I would see like clips of my friends from high school or people I knew in high school, including the Sprania twins, Ralph Morelli, Alessandro Barazzoni, Nick Ropini. I would see them post like clips of flag. I was like, oh, okay, they're still playing flag as well as like actual football at the same time too, and it was always interesting. And then so what made me go into FPF specifically was when I would say there was I think in 2022 I had 3 surgeries in 8 months while I was playing rugby for university, and I didn't know if like how much contact I was gonna be dealing with when I came back, if like I'll be staying in it because rugby is a really like demanding physically tolling sport and coming back from all the surgeries. So I was like, okay, what other avenue can I look at? And then I was obviously still seeing more FPF stuff with the guys I kind of watch, and then seeing especially like the Sprania twins winning. I think they won a Division 4 or Division 5 championship one of the winters, and like I knew like a lot of guys on the team, and I'm like, wow, like that, like it's fun. And then also too seeing at Concordia the women's flag team practice while like I would be practicing rugby, and that kind of like intrigued my eye. And like I know that for the women's flag team at Concordia, they weren't really part of like youth sports and everything. It's the same thing with the men's rugby team because it's like they both have to basically go up together in a sense to be considered like varsity. So just seeing them practicing was like even eye opening because I could see actually see the practicing of flag in person and kind of gave me nostalgia of like having the love for it again. And then I was like, you know what? Like, let's ask a bunch of friends. Let's join up. Let's finally do it. And also like getting a bunch of my friends together. That was kind of like the end goal of it.
Okay, okay. So you obviously, again, you have a rugby background, right? You played rugby at Concordia. How do you think playing rugby has helped you kind of make that transition to not just football, but flag in particular?
So I would say it helps me more on the defensive end because I when I played rugby, I mainly played as a back three, so I'm usually behind a line of defense anyways. So I usually would see everything in front of me, call out like who should be moving where in a sense, and then I'm always usually chasing a ball regardless if it's getting kicked. So I guess in rugby, I guess the ball's being kicked towards me, whereas in flag, if I'm playing defense, especially if I'm playing safety, I'm getting a ball thrown around my vicinity. So I think that would be the biggest thing that kind of changed up, that kind of helped me adjust to it. And then in terms of the cutting and stuff, like I'm still working on like especially on offense, like cutting and like how to like use my hips a lot more because it is I see the guys in the higher divisions, the guys in the women, and like it's ridiculous how they move, and I'm like I wish I could, but like honestly the footwork it relates to a little bit, especially because when I played rugby, I was usually running a lot in open space, so I would have to either use pure speed or just actually like juke around and stuff. So I would say those two are the main things that kind of translated to rugby from two flag.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I've never seen you play rugby. Obviously, I've seen you play flag
No
though.
worries.
So in flag, I've always noticed even before you join my team, like you're always someone that's having a good time. You always have a smile on your face, even when things aren't going great. You always have a smile on your face. You're always encouraging, your team, you're the teammates in that. But where does that attitude come from?
So in most of my sports in general, I was always like that. I would say that from growing up, from playing like Division 1 volleyball, Division 1 basketball, like any sport I really played, I was kind of always like always happy going and stuff because at the end of the day, I just love sports. No matter what I do, I play like too many. I've played. There's probably any sport you could name me, I probably played like at least to some degree. And so with flag, I think especially it changed because my first season, as you know, the first season of our team, Granddaddy Perp, did not go well at all. That was a monstrous, disastrous season, 0-10. There's no continuity. Like we didn't have really a real quarterback. We were all like most of us were coming into flag new, especially in FPF. Some guys have played briefly, so it's also like just like how the team was run. And then unfortunately, at least on my side, what resulted in that was that I had a few friends of mine have a bad taste of flag, and that hurt me because I don't care much where we lose. It's more of like if we're competitive, I want that. Obviously, I want to win. But if it's where like my friends are stepping away from flag because of this, I put me so much in terms of responsibility. Even though years later they're like, Keyon, like you're fine. Like it's not you. It was the situation. You did everything you could. To me, I always ever since that happened, I always went to the mindset of flag with any team I'm on. Just like you know what, like as long as everyone on the team is having fun, no matter the outcome, that's what really matters. And that's kind of what my mentality changed with. So as all the teams I played with going on, it's like just being like supportive and everything. And again, a lot of my teammates look up to me too because of with the experience. Obviously, I know that in certain divisions, I'm like known as a really key player on the teams I'm on. But at the same time too, I like to like bring up everyone like, and then it's like if I don't even like giving criticism to people because it's like I feel really weird doing it. But if it's gonna help us win, and it's just more of like I'd rather just give you advice. Like this is what I see from my perspective, and I find that that's really kind of how just making the game much more fun because then I feel like also playing flag when it's just like you're annoyed or things, it's kind of like it doesn't really we're paying a lot of money anyways. So it's like why like drown ourselves in like just being depressed and like angry at each other if like just have fun, honestly. Like that's really it for me. And like I just that's all I care about at the end of the day. Just making sure everyone on my team is having a good time.
Okay, and that's definitely important, right? You want to, I mean, yeah, you consider paying money, but you want to have some fun. Ideally, where you're winning, but
Yeah.
having some fun is what it's all about for sure. Okay. In terms of, so I know you and a lot of your teammates are close, right? You said some guys maybe from rugby, other guys you've been around for a while. Who's your favorite teammate to play with, or who's someone that like you're making a team or you're on a team, you have to be with that person 100%.
Oh, that's a tough one. Like honestly, I would say out of all the times I played flag, because I've only been playing for 2 years, I would say Vaughn Banslet is probably one of my favorite teammates. He's been my quarterback for majority of the teams I've played on. I'd say every full season team I've played on, except maybe two or three, he's been my quarterback, or at least been on my team. I would say because he just like he has a great vibe and stuff, and like I don't know, he's also came back from like a bit of flag experience before I met him because I only met him maybe like a few years ago at Concordia. Like we played against each other in CJEP rugby, but then we met at Concordia officially. So I'd say he was one of them. I would say very recency bias. Michael Schiller, who's on my sophomore team, just his vibe is like amazing. I recruited him after I played it against him in a game, and he like mossed me like in a Division 5 game last winter. He mossed me, and I was like, I had to recruit him because his vibe was just so like happy going. And even the two games we've had with him, it's like amazing in terms of like just having him there. And like I mean, there's a bunch of other teammates I have, like Marcus. I've been playing with for quite a bit. Even playing with Sam. Sam, you know Sam obviously from commission. Like he's great. He's a great athlete, great flag player two ways, and it also makes me learn how to play with someone like that and like with that talent. I don't know. There's like so many guys I can name on the top of my list in terms of like because I've only played with certain guys for certain a bit of time. So like I mean everyone that I've at least especially on the teams that I played on specifically, I really enjoy. And I also have to get a shout out to my rusher on McGill Jackson because he also has like his vibe is amazing. So I can't go wrong with any of those guys.
Okay, nice, nice. Okay, okay. So we talked about teammates. So I know like on Instagram, right? So I know you're big onto that, right? So I remember talking to you at we had to have dinner, and you were telling
Yeah.
me I've seen it, right? I think I follow you guys. You follow me on
Mhm.
IG. You have an IG account for the FBI FC team. You have one, I think, for the McGill swim team as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, so and so the sophomore Excel, they have an Instagram
Yeah,
handle too. Okay,
sophomore has
okay, okay. Actually, I'm looking at my phone right now, and yeah, I do follow them as well. Okay,
it.
all right. Okay, so what was the idea behind that? 'Cause I mean, you have a lot of cool videos on there. You have highlights, like everyone else has highlights, but you
Yeah.
have like promo like posters and that. I
Yeah.
think it's real dope. What was the idea, and yeah, why did you decide to launch it?
So in terms of, I think I'm trying to remember how it started. I think it was for McGill's swim team. That's how it started. Vaughn actually controls that account. I usually just send him the content for most of it. I think we just had it just as a joke because the McGill swim team like itself for us was a joke of a team. We were all rugby players at Concordia, and we're called the McGill swim team, which makes no sense. We've had people ask us like, "You guys are called McGill swim team, but you're all wearing Concordia shorts. Like, how does this work and everything?" And then I think we just went along with the joke of like, let's just make it worthwhile for like our rugby community, because rugby is a big community, honestly, and so like everyone was just asking about it, so it was like really cool. And then so when freshman Excel came along, I was like, you know what, I want to kind of keep that, but it's a bit different because it's not the same like personalities and stuff. So that was like, you know what, let's focus on more of like the game stuff. And then it got me the idea of like making these pregame posters and stuff, and even the postgame stuff. And like I enjoy doing it because I used to have a background in writing, and so I was like, just why not? Like it's cool. Even the post game recaps. I know people in the past have thought it was like AI generated, but it's actually not. I make them individually, hand by hand. Like I go through the play by play that we go through every game, but it's also like because I'm there physically, so it's I could see certain things. If on like the play by play it says like I caught a ball for 12 yards tackled by so and so, but then in reality that catch was like a really big catch. Like it was a one hander. I mossed someone, for example. I can mention that in it, and just having a bit of personality into it. And also like for our friends who are not able to make these games, it's like, oh, like this is what happened without actually going to FPF and like checking our results and everything. They could just read it through there, and like there's a bit more character in the sense. So I'd say that's kind of how it built up on. And then as I go on and on, there's like more teams are more guys are like more interested in like what we're posting and stuff. But also too, it's like I have a life, so it's like a lot of time and dedication it takes. Like I know we were
Yeah,
talking about the
yeah,
commission, but like I'm like this is a lot. Like sophomore is already like my main one because it's my actual team. FBIFC, I'm still lacking a little bit in terms of the content there, but I didn't forget to post a few things. But like, yeah, it's a lot. And honestly, too, it's like not we don't always have like the camera person there. Like we gotta have like our like things set up. It depends. And also, if it's like an important game, sometimes we're just like locked in, and like sometimes we just like don't want to deal with the camera, just like play. But honestly, just like it's honestly just for like entertainment purposes, and it's like honestly just for like the friends and communities around us.
I mean, hypothetically, if someone wanted to hire you to do it for their team, I mean,
Oh yeah, if
we're-
someone hired me for it, I think yes. I do it for free right now, and like it does take up my time. But if I were to get paid for it, oh yeah, 100%. Because I mean, I love watching flag regardless. So I think it would just be cool in a sense, and like obviously just getting that team and those players exposed to like other people. I mean, that's great. I'm not really a social media person myself, actually. Like you would think I am, but like if you were going on my
yeah,
personal Instagram, it's like I don't post much really. It's
yeah.
like mainly like my sports accounts are really the ones that take active. My actual personal one where I actually like has all the people I know on it. It's like I don't really use it that much, and most of it's sports or friends and family.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm saying hypothetically speaking, if
Yeah,
you want to go on maybe the Facebook group for FPF or whatever, and give your information for people to want to contact you,
that might be an
to
idea. I might think about that for the fall.
as your agent, I'll take 5% of the profit from that.
Maybe
All right.
I'll give you 10. I'll give you 10.
Hey, okay, cool. All right, all right. Okay. So I know you made an all star.
Mhm.
So you made all star one time. What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. I loved it. It was such a opportunity where I felt that just playing with the best players in FPF, and again, not everyone is there because again, like it just happens. Also, it's like it was on a weeknight in like Laval, and like also if they're not close by or you might have work or whatever reasons too, but like still the atmosphere was there. The draft process was like sick, and so like again, I got there and I was like whoa, like this is like crazy. And like the fact that like the tournament style is like a great way of just playing. And so I enjoyed that. And then the fact that like they reward lower division players. So at the time I made my all-star for division E. So playing in those games was like, oh, like because I'm a division E player, it's like get him the ball in the end zone because it counts for more points rather than if it was like a division A player, for example. But honestly, the biggest thing I found that was great was just like how the community like kind of was whole. Like I met so many people that like specific day, like actually like in person. Like I've seen these guys play and these women play, but like actually meeting them in person was like wow, and actually seeing how they play. Like I remember at one point like I have a really clear memory of certain things. I remember in one of the All Star games, like exhibition games I was playing, and I got like a deep ball, and then like someone batted it down was like a crazy defender. I'm like, oh, that was a sick play. But I looked and like realizing now it was Quasi, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And like me, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know who's in front of me. I'm just like playing, and I was like. that makes a lot of sense of why that happened. And like, just honestly, the vibe was just amazing. I recommend to anyone, if you are first time or whatever 10-time all-star, go if you can. Like if it's not like bombarding your schedule or anything, or you don't have anything to do or whatnot. Even for the people that are not all stars, I find it's a great environment just to like meet people. And I find also like for recruiting, it does help because like you guys get to see each other in a sense, like actually play. And I know a lot of teams from all star teams kind of combine each other to like I was recruited to a few teams like post that because of like just being there. And I think that's kind of cool in a sense too. But honestly, it's just like I find that it was just a great experience. I'd recommend it to any like all star if you can go. It's like such a great vibe.
Okay. Unfortunately, in the championship column, there's a zero right now. But again, it's early. So you're only 2 years in.
Mhm.
How much does this winning a championship drive you?
I think now it's the biggest thing on my plate. I've been an all star. It hasn't updated on the website, but I have won an individual award. I won Defensive Player of the Year last winter in Division 6A. So, and that was great. I enjoyed that like deeply. That was actually one of the things I wrote down as a goal was to win an individual award, and I was able to accomplish it. So now with the championship, it is my biggest thing because I have two semifinal losses in like the past year or so. So it's kind of been tough. And both of them, unfortunately, were dealt like we weren't really playing. And again, when it comes to playoffs, like anything happens. Like I'm not taking back on the teams that we've lost to and stuff. We've actually lost to the champions twice. Like both times I lost in semis, those teams end up winning the whole thing. It was just more of like I dealt with it where like we were never like a full strength team, and it just sucked. But that's just how like there were the dice rolls. And so, especially with the McGill one like last winter, I dislocated my finger second drive of the game, and I've ruptured my tendon in the season too, and I played through it. I played with my dislocated finger, but like this one felt like really bad, where I just couldn't really do much. I Vaughn threw me a 5 yard hook. I caught it and I dropped it instantly because I was in so much pain, and it was just like yeah. And we were only 5 guys. We were 6 guys. We ended up being 6 guys for that game finally. But still, it's like now you're 6 guys, no subs, and then I dislocate my finger, so it's like I'm not getting off. Like I mentally won't do that, but it's like now like, it kind of shrinks everything in, and then we lost in the last few seconds, like through a touchdown, like on the defense. So it was like that was like it hurt, but like honestly, I was more focused on my finger than actually like accepting the loss in my head. But then now it's like I've gone through those pains before, and I'm like, championship is like what I want, and it's not even just for me. It's more of like the teams that I'm on because I always felt that the teams we lost, then there's like those semifinals, like for freshmen as well as for McGill, the guys on the team deserve it. Like we played a hell of a year with both teams, and it was just unfortunate we lost in those fashions. And we lost both of them very close within like the last few seconds of the game. So it's just like now it's like no matter what I go into now, it's like I want to have fun. Obviously, I want like everyone to be happy, but like winning a championship is like the one thing I just want to get to, and like I'm not gonna stop until I get it at least. So hopefully this summer, but like we'll see.
Okay, okay. So we talked about obviously losing some heartbreaking semifinals. You mentioned earlier, right, when you first started with Granddaddy Perp, 0-10, right?
Yeah.
The short turnaround, right? Only like I said, it's only your second season. Well, technically your third season now, your third summer. When was that kind of that turning point where you guys went from a team that can get 0 wins to a team that's steadily improving, and now again you've made the semifinals on a couple of teams. When was that kind of fork in the road, or that big moment where the light kind of went on for you and your teammates?
I would say freshman last spring when maybe like we had 2 games in 3 days. I remember that for sure. And like I think at that time we were like 4 or 5-0. And it was just like, and even then I wasn't even thinking about undefeated season. I was like, oh cool, like it was great. Like we actually added Sam like 3 games. Like he basically played like most of those games, and then just like everyone on our team was like, get Sam full time because like he was honestly a sub. And then so I was like, all right, cool. I asked Sam. He was like, yeah, I'm down. And then we just kept playing and stuff. And so I would say we played a game against practice squad, and I would say we won on the last play of the game. Like Marcus caught a ball from Vaughn in the end zone, and we have it. I think it's on our Instagram page as like a highlight, and like that was sick. We were like great and everything, and then 2 days later we're playing against Whiffer Wet Jet, and they're always a competitive game against us. And like that day was like one of the heat waves we've had, so it was already like feeling 40 degrees, and then like we were down a few guys. Our rusher Silas got hurt, and then Keyshawn, our boy, he subbed as rusher, did really great. Got like a key pass deflection, and then I got a pick to end the game. And it was just like those 2 wins within like 3 days was like you know what, like even though they're very close, like we won in the last like seconds of those games when we had like five plays or whatnot. That's where I'm like, you know what, this is kind of like how things are switching around. And like also too, Vaughn was going through a stretch where he was playing really well at that point. Like he plays well normally, but that specific stretch he was playing really well. So it was like, oh my god, like this actually could be something that like gets us going. So I would say those two wins specifically within like 3 days was like, you know what, like this team could actually do something like well, not even just like for that season, but like in the future.
Okay, nice. Okay. Okay. Um, when you look at everything going on in FPF right now, again, there's an expansion. There's a new women's division. There's Division F now for men's. Working for the league, obviously. So you wear that one hat being a player, another hat now being an employee. What has the experience been like for you so far? No pressure, obviously. You don't have to say everything's been peachy cream, or peaches and cream. But what has the experience been like for you not joining the FPF staff?
I enjoy it, honestly. For me, I love watching Flag in general. I love playing it. So getting paid to technically watch it, it's great. I can't complain. Also, I know how it is, like where you email like the FPF, like oh, like for the stats and everything. I've been one of those guys that has emailed the league prior. So now seeing it, I also take pride of like getting them right because I do understand like coming from the opposite side of things. But I would say honestly, just in terms of meeting people, I love meeting different personalities, different teams. There's so many times where I'm watching and scorekeeping, and like I'm just looking at a team's vibe, and I'm just like, that is just so fun. Like I enjoy like whether it's a women's three team, it's a co-ed two, like whatever division it is. Like I love the vibes of some of these teams. Like they actually like are so awesome. And so it's like, and then also just meeting people. Like I meet so many people as a scorekeeper because like I like I don't know, it's just like I find that like I'll give credit to like credit's due. Like if I see you make a good play, like and you're off on the sideline, I was like, oh, that was a nice catch and everything and stuff. And then like so I've kind of got familiar with a lot of people within the fact that like I am a scorekeeper. And I do have people that come up to me and say what's up and everything because they see me working off often or I'm on the field. So I would say like just in terms of being an employee for FPF, I find that's like definitely great. And also the fact that like the guys ahead of me are like really helping, especially like for example, obviously Mo, there's Ben. They specifically with scorekeeping, they help a lot in terms of like organizing it, and it takes a toll. I can only imagine, and so they also made it very easy for me to kind of like just ease in and stuff because I didn't know how much I was going to enjoy it. I was like, oh, I always thought it was like overwhelming because it's like a lot of like micromanaging at a time for scorekeeping, and then like as I did it, I'm like, wait, I'm getting more simpler and like it's pretty easy in a sense. Obviously, like it's also important to like be attentive to the games, and so I think it helps for me the fact that I enjoy playing. So it's like I'm so in tune with it that like I'm like sometimes I'm like, oh, I should like jot this down on my iPad because like I'm so like invested in that play and everything. So I would say that, and obviously like just having like different scorekeepers there, we always talk and like there's always games going around. So sometimes like if like there's a dead ball on my field, I'll turn around and see what's going on in the next field, and it's like you get to see a lot of things in a sense, and I just find that like that's great. So for someone that actually wants to like watch flag and like is good at like at least doing the analytical stuff, I think it's really great.
Okay, okay. And being able to wear the player and scorekeeper hat, I gotta ask you, just as a player, where's your favorite field to play? Which field do you love playing at the most?
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Um, I would say honestly, Brossard is one of my favorites. I don't know. I just enjoy the Brossard and the lights. I hate when it's hot there. I would say that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's boiling hot, it's disgusting. Like again, it's bad. But like in terms of playing there, I enjoy it, and also I just love the idea of like the stands there and everything. I mean Laval's close to home for me. It's very close. It's like a 10-minute drive for me, so I enjoy being in Laval, both inside and outside. It's great. Ex- uh, I would say those two are the bigger ones. Celeron was is fun, but I just again there's not many availabilities there like most seasons, so it's like I don't really get a chance to have to play there. Concordia, obviously, I've been a stinger there for like a few years, so it's like it definitely hits when I'm going down there. So it's like it doesn't even feel like technically it's actually a longer drive for me to get there. It's like 30 minutes sometimes with traffic, but like because I've done it so often, like it doesn't like feel like it's a long thing. So I would say those ones. I played a few games at Stade Bear. It's nice. Um, Mary Vic's a nice field as well. I would give that, except when it's glaring. When it's glaring because of the windows, it is tough to sometimes see. And then yeah, I would say those ones at least for like this season. those are the ones I go with.
Okay. Moving away from football. So obviously, again, we talked about you play rugby. Are you still at Concordia?
So I just graduated. Like my graduation's on Monday, so I have
Okay.
that. So I just finished. I started in fall 2021. I graduated in human relations. And then now I'm going to start my master's in the fall at McGill. So I'm switching over. So I'm gonna be doing that for like 3 years.
Okay. So okay, so you're in your master's in human relations at McGill. So
Yeah. So my master's actually is in social work, and then so I
okay.
have to do a year prerequisites before I go into the specific master's I want, which is family and couple therapy, which I'll be like eventually at the end of it, it's like a psychotherapist or like a family counselor in a sense.
Hey, listen. Hey, congrats on your
Thank
upcoming
you.
graduation, and that's amazing, dude. That's amazing. You should be proud of yourself.
Appreciate it.
So a little side note, obviously. So those of you that don't know, I'm old. I went to high school with Keon's mom, Lynn. Super awesome. Um, Good family, obviously. Keon.
Mhm.
So again, good job, dude.
Thanks.
Keep doing good things. Um, okay, so we're gonna wrap this up quickly. So want to throw out let's not throw out some names, but I'm gonna have you kind of maybe potentially throw some of your teammates under the bus, potentially not.
Let's see.
Okay, who's your loudest teammate or loudest person you've played with in flag?
Oh, that's oh boy, my loudest. I would say it's a mix between. But the thing's not anyone's loud. I would say honestly, almost I feel like sometimes I'm the loudest. But like I would say recently, I would say in our team, Brandon, my boy Brandon, who plays on my sophomore team, he just has the ability to just like imagine you at a green light and like the arrow just points green and it just goes. It's like even when everything happens, like he's just pumping it up for everyone. But I think like I would say he's probably one of the loudest. But I don't know, our team is not too loud, except like obviously when you make plays. But like I wouldn't sense that we're like loud as a team.
Okay,
But I
okay,
would say
all
him
right.
though, because like just how he is sometimes. I like it.
Okay, so on the opposite, who's like the quietest member on your team? Who's the one that barely says anything, just kind of goes about their business?
I would say Silas. Silas is very quiet. He really rushes. We try to get him to play receiver. He's 6'5", just like basketball player, just like doesn't just rushes. He loves rushing and that's it. He's very quiet. He doesn't really like he won't say anything. If anything, he would just be more cheering. But like he's really quiet. I would say. Yeah, I would say Silas is probably the one I would say is quiet out on the field.
Okay. Who's the biggest trash talker on your team?
On my team currently,
Or
or
trash talker on your team now, or someone you played with in the past? Anybody?
so I have two people in mind. The first one I would go with Peter Burtz. The reason why because there was a specific incident that happened last season in winter 5A where it was just like I felt the trash talking out there. Sam's trash talks too, but I would say Peter Peter is definitely up
Yeah,
there, and then
okay.
low key Marcus but things sometimes I tell him like and he's gonna see this. I'm like, Marcus, sometimes there's times to trash talk and there's times not to trash talk, but he will trash talk in a sense. When it's good, it's good. I rate it. I'm not a trash talker, but I would say between Peter Burtz and then Marcus, those are the two that I've seen trash talk the most, at least with the teams I've been
Okay. Shout out to Peter, who also plays on my team. Great
on.
dude. And shout out to Marcus too. So Marcus, I had a chance to talk to him I think it was Friday slash Friday in Laval, and Mo was there. I mean, most people don't like the fact that Mo's around, but Mo was coming over and trying to make his presence felt. And Marcus is a great guy. Marcus said hi to Mo. He didn't have to. It was a pity hello, as
Yeah.
I told Mo. Marcus is a stand-up dude. Okay, who on your team is one of those guys? We all have them. That are late for games. The game starts at 7, and it's like 6:58. They're parking their car and they're running onto the field. Who's that guy on your team?
Out of all the teams, there's only one guy. One guy. It's my boy Ola, or his name is DJ Iggy because he's a DJ. Nonchalant about flag. Does like just nonchalant when we talk about things about scouting reports that we do. We talk about team activity, just non-existent. When it comes to games, sometimes we don't know if he's there, or sometimes we're just like I already did the coin flip. I turn around, he's just walking in. We're like, Ola, hurry up. And he's just like, nah, I'm taking my time and everything. He's definitely the only one. Like a lot of us get there like a good enough time to warm up and stuff. Him, it's like I don't even know. It's actually funny though, but like we kind of just accept it at this point. That's just how Ola is. But like when he's on the field, he's on the field, like he's locked in. But it's just like getting there, it's such a hassle. It's already almost a game in itself to figure out if he's gonna be there on time.
Kind of the game within the game. Then okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And finally, who's that one teammate that no matter how big the stakes, like they're unflappable. They're not gonna blink. Doesn't matter like how much you're losing by or how much you're winning by. Doesn't matter semifinal game or whatever case may be. Who's that one teammate that like they're cooler? They're cooler than like the other side of the pillow, no matter what.
I would say Vaughn. I would say Vaughn, whenever he's not in his own head, which happens, especially for a quarterback, it does happen, especially if you feel like you're having a bad game. When he's on, no matter, even if like he's playing well and we're losing or he's playing well and we're winning, it's just like he's so like just nonchalant about it. Like, and you can see like his expression too. It's like it's happy and like it's great to have that, especially as a quarterback. So I would say him in a sense, like he won't really get too reactionary unless like things are getting thrown at him. So also too, but that's also not part of the fun. So I would say Vaughn, and also say myself in a sense, I guess. Like I'm very like nonchalant in a sense. Like no matter if we're losing or winning, my demeanor doesn't change. I find, and I just also find that like it's like in terms of obviously for losing, it's like let's pick it up and everything. But like I would say honestly, just like in those vibes, I would give myself that, and I'd give Vaughn that too.
Okay, okay. All right, two more questions for you before I let you go.
Wow.
I know you had a chance. We talked about a week ago. So for your FBI FC team, you added Will Power,
Yes.
nine-time All Star. The excitement on your face when you told me about Will Power
Yeah.
said enough. Great guy, phenomenal player. Just talk about quickly your addition of Will Power to your team.
It's great, honestly. When I was told that Will Power to join, I'm like, I played against him twice. My first game in Division 2 as a sub was against Will Power, and he toasted me, toasted me like crazy in that game. And then just like I played against him in 5A when he was with Thunder Buddies with Terry, and so just seeing him, obviously seeing him around and stuff. And he always seemed like a stand up great guy, just like great person. And then actually meeting him, like saying hi to him and like actually talking to him, like it's the same thing. Like I was always like I was like, I don't know, how is this guy gonna be like he's a really good player, but then actually when you meet him, it's like he's so like down to earth, like just like calm, cool. And then playing with him too, like it's the same thing. We've already started to like kind of build a little bit of chemistry there, which is great in like 2 games in like a practice. But like just his IQ, his skill level is just like off. It's one of the best with like the amongst the best in FPF. That's why he plays in like Division 2 and like in Division 1. Like it's evident, and it's just like his like he doesn't bring it where he's better than everyone else. Not that a lot of FPF players do that, but like he especially like he's like everyone else, but you could just like his play dictates how well he is, and like everyone knows that. So it's honestly great.
Okay, okay. How much you think you could learn from a guy like Will?
Oh, a lot. Just like even though he's not playing quarterback for us, just seeing how he sees the ball, especially on defense, and then even route running, just being open. That's definitely like I love looking up to any player that's I would say even better than me. But like having a guy like that on our team, even in terms of like just like how to like orchestrate our defense a lot and like just how to see things and how to for routes. It's honestly like it's so I find learning a learning experience that like anyone should really take if you're open minded to it. And so yeah, like I I love playing with him just so like I could learn from him too. And I just learn it on the fly while I'm playing with him, like whether I'm alongside him or I'm on the bench just watching him.
Okay, okay. And final one, obviously, again, like I said, this is your third season right now in FBF. One of your teams, hopefully the commission, will win a championship this season if
If we continue to have the same mentality of having fun, I would say that. I would say that honestly. And I feel all 3 teams of mine are very talented wise to win any of those division titles. I personally have to go obviously sophomore because I am the captain for it, and I personally just love. I think the vibe of that team is far superior than the other 3, just because I guess I've been around those guys the longest, and I feel like we have the talent for it. So I would say just having fun, honestly. And I feel like with all of our 3 teams, like it's not like I'm not expecting to go 30-0 in all 3 teams. Well, I can't do that now, but like just like getting better and learning how to play with each other. I find that any of my championship teams, hopefully, if that happens, it's because we're just having fun and then getting better. That's as long as those are the recipes and knock on wood, like injury luck, we should be good.
all right, well, listen, best of luck to you and all your teams, obviously. I just want to say thanks also for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Always.
Stand up dude, and always interesting, and it's nice to talk to somebody that has a passion like for football and just a passion seemingly for life as well. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And anyone that sees me like scorekeeping or playing, say what's up. Like I'm very like open to seeing people and like meeting everyone, and like it's a great community and flag. I applaud everyone that plays it, even if it's your first season, 20th. Like keep playing. Thanks,
There
Brent.
you
Again,
go.
appreciate
All
it.
right, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, you too, man. Have a good one. All right, so that was Keyon Cyrus, captain, all star, stand up dude. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. Okay, so in the final couple minutes here, it's a couple of things again. Running solo today, so we have this thing called the Juice. It's actually I think it's kind of the brainchild of Quasi slash our producer Ali Reza. So there's a couple of topics like that we want to touch on it, and we want to get your opinions. Again, we need you guys to come in and voice your opinion. Me talking well by myself to the camera right now is cool, I guess. But I mean, I want to talk to you guys, right? And talking to Quizzy is awesome. And obviously, we talked to Ali Reza, who's in our ears. You guys don't see him, but he's in our ears. Our producer. It's great. We have a lot of back and forth on the topics, but we want to get your opinion, the players, coaches, the fans, and all that, right? So, first question our first thing that I want to bring up is: should we eliminate the no intentional grounding rule in FPF? Now they have it for the kids division. I've scored kept a ton of kids games. I totally understand having not wanting to call intentional grounding against the kids, but they also have it in 5v5 and they have it in women's as well. And I don't know. I'm of the thinking that intentional grounding is intentional grounding. Like I scored kept the game last night in Brassard. As Keon said, yeah, it was hot as hell in there. Let me tell you. I don't know why they don't open the doors anymore. But anyways, hopefully we'll talk to Jeff and try and get that changed because it's like a sauna in there. But I saw a quarterback got pressured by the rush. The rush was fantastic. I'm not going to talk about who the quarterback was or the teams. And the quarterback just threw the ball directly at the feet of the rusher on two occasions because she's about to get stacked for a safety. And it didn't really have an outcome in the game because the team that was providing the pressure ended up winning. It was kind of a blowout, actually. But I personally think that intentional grounding, I mean, that's just an easy way out. Like, I understand the 5v5 rules are totally different than 6-on-6. I get that. And obviously, 5-on-5 is the rules in international play for women's and men's flag. But I think just throwing the ball away, specifically into the grass, just because you don't want to get sacked. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear your feedback, especially all the quarterbacks out there. Again, we had Sara Parker on earlier, so I'd love to get her feedback on that. I personally just think intentional grounding should be a penalty that should be called. If anything, I think it makes the game more competitive and potentially even harder to win. Right, it's more challenging. Flag is an offensive game. Like how we talk about all the time. The NFL is an offensive league. Well, flag is an offensive game. Period. The rules are designed to pretty much help out the offenses. So I think eliminating intentional grounding is just something else that's going to help out the offense when it's not really needed. Um, I want to get we're going to have a poll up on Instagram. I'm actually going to I want to create one as well. I think on the Facebook account, the FPF Facebook account. So we got Sara Parker on, like I said earlier. She is the queen of the castle, the queen of the mountain in terms of women quarterback play, not just in FPF, but definitely in Canada, in North America as well. She can definitely make her case for the best female quarterback in the world, right? I don't think too many people would argue against that. Um, who after Sara Parker are the top three quarterbacks in FPF? There's a lot of names out there. We talked about Sandrine Gobet Hiwat. We mentioned her name earlier. I'm just going to go. So I have a list here that I have up on my phone. I want to go through some of the names here that we're going to see on this list. So I want to finish. Yeah. So here we go. Here's some of the names. So obviously from Chaos, Allison Sobo, Mary Lou, Jelena, Camille Dumay, Emily Adam had a chance to score, keep her the other day with Fibu, Catherine Shanik, talked about obviously Sandrine Gobet Hiwat, Athena Ryan, Elizabeth Ashkar, Emmanuel Bronsard, Andron Cataret. So those are some of the ladies that have thrown passes over the last few years here in FPF. So who do you think are the top three quarterbacks in FPF after or not named Sara Parker? I'm super interested to hear what all of you have to say on that. I have my own list. I want to see what you guys have to say though. I'm gonna I'll tell you who's on my list right now, honestly. So Emmanuel Bronsard, I've seen her play for Blue Pond, I guess U of M, I guess you could say. So I've seen her play. I think she's good. Alison Sobo, I've seen play. I called, I believe, her championship game with Chaos just a few weeks back. Had a chance actually to see Noemi Forte and her to beat from the Dream Killers. I think she's a really good quarterback. She has a beautiful spiral, I gotta say. I've seen her toss the ball for the last couple of seasons, and she's compact. I think she's maybe 5'3", maybe 5'4", 5'5" at the most, but she throws a really tight spiral. Elizabeth Ashcroft, I've seen her play a couple times in Matrix. She's obviously good. I know I apologize for some names I'm leaving off that list, but there's a lot of talented females playing the quarterback position, and not just FPF, but all over the city and all over this country. But specifically speaking for FPF, who do you think are the top three quarterbacks not named Sara Parker? I'm gonna put a poll up on Facebook either tonight or tomorrow morning, and we're gonna have it on the IG channel as well. So please get your votes in here. I'm really interested to see what you have to say. We'll next week's show we'll talk about the results because definitely want to hear what you guys have to say on that. Player etiquette, just something I noticed because I'm a player. I'm also a scorekeeper. I write. I do podcasts. Obviously, so I do a couple different things here in FBF, and I try to watch as many games as I can, not just for the division that I write for, but just in general. I want to, being the host of the podcast, right? I want to try and stay on top and see as many games as I can. And obviously, when I'm scorekeeping, that helps out a lot with that. But when I talk about player etiquette, so one thing I've been noticing, so obviously we have the rule a couple years ago that they got installed where if you deflag a player, you have to give back the flag. Most players are pretty good with that. Usually the officials give them one chance if you don't give back the flag right away, and then after that, if it happens again, you get that penalty. That's fine. But things like I notice, for example, let's say you're playing on one field and the ball gets overthrown or gets dropped, it gets deflected onto another field. Someone picks up the ball and hands you the ball back, right? To whatever player, or you're the scorekeeper, or you're just standing around on the sideline, you're a referee, and you give the ball to the player. It doesn't hurt to say thank you. That's all I'm saying. This could sound like an old man get off my lawn thing. It's just I don't know. I think I was raised properly by my parents. I mean, saying thank you to people for doing a kindness or doing something they don't have to do for you, kind of should go with the territory, right? And I'm not saying, listen, I mean, would it be nice to get a thank you every time when someone does something nice for you in life? That would be great. Life is not fair though sometimes, as we all know. But just try to just keep cognizant of the fact that when your ball bounces somewhere and people are going out of your way to help you out and pick it up, you know what I mean? Just a simple hey, you know, a bounce, a head nod, a thank you goes a long way. That'll be the end of my get off my lawn segment. Um, so one thing, I'm gonna bring this up with Quasi next week. I thought of this a couple years ago, and I want to get your opinion on it. Now, this can seem like a crazy idea, but it's not when I put it in this context. So in FPF, right, we have the off season. This year was literally 24 hours, but whatever, and it's fine. We have kind of free agency in a sense that we literally have a Facebook group, right? So people looking for teams go on there. Hey, listen, I'm so and so. I'm looking for a team. Ladies, guys do it as well, obviously. I know back in the day, it used to be the free agency link on the FPF site. I don't think that's there anymore. I'm pretty sure it's gone. But a lot of teams are still like, hey, listen, or we're looking for players. We're a team. We're missing two ladies. We're missing two guys. We're missing people for co-ed or whatever the case may be. So we technically do have free agency, I guess you could say, in FPF. And like Keyon was saying in his interview, right? Like I do it myself. We go to different games, and sometimes we're playing against somebody. You try to recruit. As a scorekeeper, I always try to recruit players onto my team. Even Sarah was talking about that, right? Getting players onto her team that she played against, right? And Laura Molimard. So that's just examples, right? You get around enough and you see enough players and you realize this person's really good at this person's good at that. My team has a hole here, my team has a hole there, whatever the case may be. So we have free agency in FPF, even though it's not called that. What I would like to see though, personally, is trades. Now, listen, it is what it is. I know for the spring season, I believe it's 2,500 or 2,700. I can't remember what it is to enter a team. And obviously, ideally, you're joining a team with, unless you're part of that free agency triad or unless you're on that Facebook group looking for someone to join. Ideally, you're joining with friends, right? Whether you've been together for 10 seasons, 15 seasons, 3 seasons, 2 seasons, 5 seasons, or it's your first season. Ideally, you're joining with people that you know, right? Whether it's family members or just friends or whatever the case may be. I think though, like having trades would be kind of cool. You're a team, like it's not the season's not going good. Obviously, there's no draft picks, but your season's not going good. you have a really good player or maybe a disgruntled player. Someone signs up for a team, they're not getting the playing time they want, they're not happy, but they paid their money already. Why not have a trade? I know you have player releases, so technically we have that releasing stuff as well when you release players, and you have to wait a week, I think, to join another roster. You can't join a team in the same division. Well, you can actually join a team in the same division. That's why you have to wait that week. And players join different teams all the time. I don't know. I just think having trades would be kind of cool. Like you're a team. Let's say we could even have a trade deadline. Let's say trade deadline is week, I don't know, 5 or week 6, right? You realize, hey, I'm missing a solid rusher, and we've all seen teams, no matter what division it is, we've all seen teams who are lacking a really dominant or at least really good rusher. Or there's a team lacking, a really good safety or a corner, like a slot defender or a slot receiver or a good snapper. We've all seen teams too who struggle to snap the ball, and that really affects your whole entire offense, right? Or a team who has a quarterback that is just not fitting, right, with that team. Why not trade? Why not have a trade? Sometimes a fresh start, you see in professional sports, a fresh start, a change of scenery works good for some players. Why not bring it here to FPF potentially? Like I said, again, the fees that you pay for your team, I mean, you have to pay your team. Yeah, you have to pay your fees. Let's make that clear. It can't be, I don't want to play on this team and I'm going to stiff them on the money. I've paid $100. I'm not paying the rest. No, you have to pay the full team fee. If you can match it up with someone else that's paid a full team fee and you're just not happy with how the team's doing, or not happy with your position on the roster, or not happy with your playing time, let's make a trade. Trades are fun. Seen George Pickens get traded a couple weeks ago. We see my 49ers get Bryce Huff from the Eagles. I think that's going to work out pretty well with Robert Saleh. I mean, the trades happen all the time. Trades make sports interesting, right? If you play Madden, you're making some trades. Let's be real. Anyways, I'm just saying, maybe some trades in FPF. Maybe not this season, but maybe, I don't know, for the winter, for the 2026 season. Maybe something we could work on. Just saying. Um, a couple more injuries, unfortunately. So I know Quasi had brought this up. Veer Links, they had an injury where someone got taken away in an ambulance last week. I had a chance to score keep one of the game for the game last night. Sorry, in Broussard. One of the players had a really bad knee injury. He collided with a player on the sideline while trying to make a tackle, and the player went down right away. He was grabbing his knee. He had to get his either girlfriend or wife had to help him with the baby, had to help him get out of there. He was limping, had a bad limp. I really felt bad for the guy. He couldn't continue. His team won the game. They got the W, which is awesome. But they beat the Brewers, actually. I think that was Division D. But yeah, so hopefully prayers up to the player. I didn't get his name. My apologies. Anyways, the Feelings having some injury troubles. They're like a dominant team. I know some guys that play for the Sherbrooke Verrier on their team. Their quarterback, Anthony Robichaud, looked really impressive last night. Olivier Joly, really impressive receiver. I had a chance. He plays for the Verrier, so when he come to McGill, I've had a chance to call his games. Really solid player. Solid dude, too. Came up and introduced himself to me last night. So prayers up for the injured players on the Violings. Hopefully they can make it back shortly this season. Um, so one thing, NBA Finals start tomorrow. Again, we're filming this on a Wednesday. NHL playoffs finals, pardon me, Stanley Cup finals start tonight. Oilers and Panthers, a rematch of last year. I'm a Bruins fan. My team is all garbage, at least this year. I'm cheering for Brad Marchand because I'm a Bruins fan. I won't be mad if Edmonton wins the cup because it would be nice to see Canada finally get the cup back since '93. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm happy with whoever wins. Again, Florida won last year, round one, so hopefully round two goes to the Oilers, or if not, Florida wins again to continue the dynasty. We'll see what's up. Pacers and Thunder NBA Finals. I know Ali Rez is excited about that. I'm a diehard Knicks fan. It broke my heart losing Game 6 the other night, firing Tom Thibodeau. I had an episode actually on my podcast I filmed before coming home to do this. Pros and cons and anything else. I mean, we'll see what happens with the Knicks. I mean, if we don't crap the bed in Game 1, I think we would have won Game 7. MSG would have been Monday night, but whatever. Exciting finals, super defensive team against a super offensive team. MVP, Canada's own Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We'll see what happens with that. I hate the Pacers, so obviously I'm cheering for the Thunder. So I think us and cheering for the Thunder. I think the city of Seattle is cheering for the Pacers along with Indiana, but whatever. If you're old enough, you know what I'm talking about when I say the city of Seattle is probably cheering for the Pacers. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this week. I want to thank Keyon Cyrus and of course the one and only the GOAT herself, Sara Parker, for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate you guys taking some time out of your schedule to come on and join us. Quasi, I promise we'll be back next week, so you don't have to look at just my face only for the podcast. Although, I mean, want to say 10 o'clock shadow. I think now it's maybe about 11 or 12. But anyways, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been the latest episode of Flag Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm Brent Bodkin. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for the guests. And we will see you soon. And like I said, don't forget, I will create that poll for the top 3 female quarterbacks not named Sara Parker and FPF right now. I want to get your opinion on that. I also want to get your opinion on whether or not you think we should get rid of the no intentional grounding in 5v5 and women's. I'll create a poll for that too on the Facebook group. But again, a lot of the things will be on the Instagram live. I'll probably be the Instagram page as well. So make sure to check it out. We'll see you next time. Peace. Put the place up. Yeah, we know what we